Hello everyone, this is Enrique Wong. We are finally working with integration of sources. When integrating sources, it all comes down to the signal phrase. The signal phrase is the connection between your ideas and the text that you're citing. Let's see one example from our course material. The example was taken from Diana Hacker's The Writer's Reference. This is an original source. The authors are Robert McNeil and William Cran. The source fragment was taken from page 1 of the book Do You Speak American? I'm using two examples to illustrate the signal phrase. In sentence number 1, the signal phrase appears embedded in your sentence. In your text, you mention that the authors are McNeil and Cran, and you use the verb claim to introduce the citation. The verb is in simple present and it precedes the citation. Notice that before you introduce the citation, you have a punctuation mark, the semicolon. After the citation, you have the page number in parentheses. You don't have to repeat the name of the authors, that is the lead words, because you have mentioned already the names of the author in your sentence. In the second example, you have your sentence. Everything in life is subject to transformation and as such, followed by the citation in quotation marks. You haven't used a signal phrase to introduce the citation. That's why you have to include the signal word in parentheses together with the page number. Notice that in sentence number 2, you have the use of brackets to signal that you have made a minor change to the text. In both examples, the lead word of the signal phrase is the last name of the authors. The last names of the authors is the first word that appears in the corresponding entry in the list of works cited. Now the big question is, how can we do that without plagiarizing? In order to do it right, we need to understand the process. Ask yourself, are you citing the exact words of an entire fragment? Maybe a few words embedded in your own words? Have you used all the words from an original, just making minor changes? Have you said it in your own words? Do you want to do it right? Then always answer all these questions. Using the exact words? If the answer is yes, and close the quote in quotation marks, then in parentheses at the end insert the last name of the author and the page number. Insert the last name of the author if you haven't introduced this last name in the signal phrase. This is an example of a direct quote. If you're not citing an entire sentence but just a few words embedded in your own words, then only use quotation marks around the words that have been taken from the secondary source. That is to say, from the words that have been copied literally from the original. If you are citing a complete sentence but have altered some words to make the cited portion fit the verb tense you're using or any other grammatical structure, then use brackets to let your reader know that there are minor changes, like in the example. It was changed from forging to forges, from present progressive to simple present. If you are citing a complete sentence but have altered some words to make the cited portion fit the verb tense you're using or any other grammatical structure, then use brackets to let your reader know that there are minor changes, like in the example. It was changed from forging to forges, from present progressive to simple present. In turn, if you are paraphrasing, that is to say, if you are citing the portion using your own words, then you don't have to use quotation marks anymore. All you have to do is introduce the parenthetical information with the page number or the last name of the author if you haven't mentioned it. If in turn you are paraphrasing a whole fragment by using synonyms, not the exact words, but you have kept the same structure as the original, that is a form of plagiarism. If that is what you're doing, then don't. Go back to questions 1, 2, or 3 and start again. Remember, ignorance of the law is not an excuse to copy.